But yeah, I think we're going to max this one out. And so, hopefully they're on here by the time Melanie takes over. But, I have a couple of things to talk about really quick, kind of some things to get excited about. I mean, honestly, I'm already looking into 2000, and I'm looking to finish strong in 2016 with you guys, and then head into 2017 with a flipping clear vision. You guys, I talked about that in Team Courage on the live webinar, or a live Facebook Live, and if you didn't listen, you need to listen. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, and a man without a vision will perish. Those are truths that we can stand on top of, so we have to address those first, and then reap what you sow. Right? So all of those are truths that we have to stand on top of, and we have to start with the vision, because your desire to move forward is based on your vision, a vision that's important to you. Okay? See, our job is not to develop your vision. That is your job. You have to do that. Your job is to develop your vision, to ask yourself, to get real, to reject the idea of it is what it is, and to think outside the box, and to let yourself dream again, and to look into the future with a different focus, one that excites you instead of numbing out, going through the motions, and having that BS crap, yes, that belief system that holds you back. Okay, that is your part. You have to sit down. You have to get to a quiet place. You have to think about that. You have to talk about it. You have to let yourself go there. Okay, and then our job is to encourage you through it, to support you, to stand outside your car as you push the gas pedal and encourage you. You got this, but we can't push the gas pedal for you, right? We can't push the gas pedal for you, but we can help your car stay fueled. And that's what we're going to do after talking to the rooftop leaders going today, like literally right up to the point that I got on here. I was talking to the rooftop leaders, the leaders of this team, coming up with an idea to really take you and fuel your car. Now, of course, again, you have to push the pedal. I could put in premium gas into your car, and if you don't push the pedal, if you don't put it in reverse and then push the pedal, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. You can get in the car, right? And that car is going to be this group that we're running, 12 days of business. Get it? Get it? Business, fitness, Christmas. That was clever, right? You got to give me that. Every once in a while, I get something, my emerald mind will get something creative. 12 days of business, all right? We are going to jump from Monday. See, there was Pearl's. There was every personality voting on when we should start this, how many days long it should be, and all the Pearls threw me off with Casey Wallace was like, whichever, you know what I mean? All the Pearls were like, whatever. The Emeralds wanted it to start on Monday, because that's when it should always start. You know what I mean? And so I have to agree. I had to go with the Monday because that makes sense to my emerald mind. So we're going to start on Monday. You guys will see me talk more about it in Team Courage. We're going to start on Monday, and we're going to go 12 days all the way through December 30th. And we are going to push. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't one that you come in and you kind of like dabble in the group. Like, I'm just going to like kind of check it out. No, this is the kind of group that you show up every single, like, this is what I'm doing. And I was just talking to Nan on a one-on-one call a second ago. That conviction has to be inside of you. Does and it comes from your vision. And Nan and I were talking about that. What do you want your days to look like? I asked Nan. I told Nan what my day looked like today. I looked at a couple real estate properties with Chad. I played Legos with Griffin. Not Griffin. He didn't play Legos. He was at school. But Ollie, we built a tent city. We sat together and laid in bed while I watched the show and I answered some questions. You see what I'm saying? You have to develop your vision of what you want to create, and that's completely up to you. And then I'm going to fuel your car. The leaders of this team are going to fuel your car, but you have to push the gas pedal, right? And so I'm going to release that for you guys tomorrow and get the specifics too. But I want to plant that seed in your heart. I want you to look at your calendar. I want you to ask yourself, is the end, is 12 days? See, I told Chad this before he started Core de Force, right? He didn't really want to do it. You know what I mean? He was kind of like dragging his feet. He kind of rather do Body Beast because it's not as intense and he doesn't have to breathe as hard, you know, and he was kind of like growling about it. And I said, listen, 30 days is going to come and go. You get to decide where you're at in 30 days. I mean, tough love, right? You guys, like, it's truth wrapped up in love. And I'm going to tell you that same thing right now. These 12 days are going to come and go. I'm bringing my A game. The leaders of Rooftop are bringing their A game. You get to decide where you want to be at the end of 12 days. That's completely up to you. And we're going to roll that. Casey and I have been kicking ideas around. Text me. Well, we weren't really kicking ideas around. We were just making sure each other was on the same page of leading into something into 2017 to keep the momentum going. But it's completely up to you. Where do you want to be in 12 days? Where do you want to be in 2017? That is completely up to you. So if you're not sure, if you're new to this, if you're a brand new coach, get in a quiet place tonight, tomorrow night, and close your eyes and let yourself dream again. I know, way past the 401k and way past the 9 to 5. What do you want your life to look like? I'll never forget when my mentor had me write down my perfect day, and it changed everything. But you have to do that heavy lifting. We'll fuel your car. You push the gas pedal. Okay, so you'll see that release tomorrow, and you're gonna have to, fill something out and commit to that, okay? Before we start with Melanie, you guys, we have a few things I like to recognize. The very first thing I like to recognize is people that are teachable, To me, you can have all the skill in the world, and if you're unteachable, if you don't show up, if you don't humble yourself, the third H of success, remember, I have 3 H's of success: heart, hustle, and humble. Those are the 3 things you need to succeed. If you can hustle your tail off, and if you don't humble yourself underneath wise counsel to learn, you're going to hit a ceiling. If you don't have the heart behind it, all day yes, is there money to be made in this business? But if there's no heart in it, if it doesn't come from a place of purpose-driven intention, you're going to hit a ceiling. And it's not going to be good, right? And so for me, the very first people I like to shout out are the people that have completed Like a Boss training. And I know some of these people have completed it 2 or 3 times. So Nicole Norman, Danica Swindle, which her and I were going back and forth on ideas. So Danica, thank you. You helped bring this Monday thing, really just kind of lit a fire under our leadership tail. Jennifer Belmer, I think I said that right. Those are our 3 people so far in for December that have completed it. And then being a product of the product, we are our own brand. But one of the number one way Maxwell says be a belief maker is to lead by example, to show up, not to be perfect. Don't misread that. Okay. Don't twist that. Okay. But to show up. Lead by example in your challenge group, to show up and lead by example, to add value on social media. I'm telling you, every time I talk to a coach that says, I'm struggling what to post on social media, I'm struggling what to post in challenge groups, I know right away they're probably not doing their program, they're probably not doing personal development. That's the truth. Okay, because when you're doing those 2 things, what to post in your challenge groups is not tough. Where you're struggling, how you overcame it, how you pushed play even though you didn't want to, how you pushed snooze 5 times and had to work out at night. All of that stuff, when you're actually pushing play, becomes very natural and you don't have to overthink it. So our belief makers, as of right now, we should have a ton of belief makers. They just haven't filled this out because our Core to Force team just finished. But Charlotte Law, Kristen Evans, Jennifer Belmer, we should send you some prize, girl. You're right across, like in every single category of mine. You have Jennifer Belmer. Who's your upline? Gosh, I want to know you. And Echo Royal, let me see. Amanda Surratt, and of course, Chad Tucker. How many of you guys saw that guy? He was so salty about doing Core to Force. He was so salty, but it paid off. And he might just get a reward tonight. That was funny, you guys. That should make you smile. All your guys' husbands should get rewarded every once in a while. Okay, Melanie Mitro, are you here, girl?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. I gotta find you. It should kick you forward for me, but it didn't yet. Oh, there you are. Let me pin your post. You guys, I could give her some really good intro, but I'm pretty sure you guys have seen her on stage a few times. I'm pretty sure, you've heard her speak. She is the top coach for 2 years and now 3 years running. You're still in first place, which is incredible in and of itself. I'm not even sure how you achieve that. And then your team just won the team spirit, correct?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you guys don't have a piece of paper right now and you're not leaning for it or leaning in with this girl right now. She was nice enough to come in here and sew into y'all tonight at 9:00 her time. She could be doing anything that she wants. Trust me, she can do anything she wants to do right now, and she's here with you. The best way, you guys, to honor someone that is sewing into you is to take what you learn and actually apply it. That is how you honor a leader that has taken time out of their day to sew in you. So Melanie, how many times superstar? Three times? 4 times?
3 times.
Three times superstar diamond coach. Obviously the Millionaires Club, and gonna be. Are you way ahead as the #1 right now?
I don't know. I think so.
Okay, she's got it in the bag. But anyway, you guys, lean in, listen. Melanie, the floor is yours, girlfriend.
Oh, well, thank you. Guys, I'm excited to be here with you tonight. I am in my pajamas. I've got my warm fuzzy blanket and my space heater running because it is snowing. It is cold here in Western Pennsylvania. And I peeled myself off of the couch. Yes, I did. I was taking a nap watching Madagascar, the European tour with my kids before this call. So that is what I was doing this evening. I usually kind of block out that 5 to 8:30 time frame to spend with them. So anyways, I fixed myself up. I threw on a little lip gloss and we're calling it a night. But so I am going to talk to you guys about social media. I don't know if this is a topic that maybe you feel like is a little pain point for you, but my goal tonight is to share with you how I have truly used social media to build my business. And I'm going to give you sort of a peek into my mindset, how I plan out my posts, how I schedule my entire business with a purpose and a plan. And then hopefully you guys can take what I'm sharing and take that and use that and interject that into your business. So does that sound good to you guys? Does that sound like something you could really use help with? Okay, I saw some thumbs up. I like it. So anyways, as I was preparing for this call, I was trying to come up with these great words of wisdom because I feel like Summer is so good at like inspiring, and she's really good at like the preaching personality, and I'm such a teacher, and that's just how I roll. So I'm going to teach you, and I'm very not preachery. So I was trying to come up with quotes, and I would happen to pull this book out. And so Gary Vaynerchuk, I don't know how many of you have this book, Jab, Jab, Right Hook. This book, I don't know, it's been how many years? 4 years maybe this book has been out. But I got this book when it first came out, and as you can see, it has like all these tabs in there and stuff. But this really was sort of like light bulb moments for me that helped me when I was just getting started. So let me just set the stage for you guys. When I started Beachbody over 5 years ago, I came to social media with a private Facebook group, no Instagram, no YouTube. The only thing I ever put on social media were pictures of my kids. The only reason I had become so interested in Beachbody was because I started as a challenger, personal transformation. And so I was watching my coach, who was an acquaintance, who actually her husband and my husband went to high school together. So that's how they knew each other, and we were friends on Facebook that way. And so I had been posting, I had made one Facebook post. We talk about like, for some reason, I decided that night to make a post about trying to lose weight when I never put anything on social media, on Facebook. She reached out to me, invited me to join a challenge group. I got incredible results with Insanity. And for me, and the reason I'm telling you all this is because this is going to play into my social media. For me, I was that girl that would join a gym on January 1st, and I would go strong for 2 weeks. I would work out. I would go in. I would do like 20 minutes on the bike to warm up, and then I would do a half hour running. I would run and I would walk, and then I'd go over to the weights and I'd lift a little bit. I had no idea what I was doing, none. And then I would leave the gym and I would go to TCBY and get myself a frozen yogurt, and then I would keep on driving home. And after about 2 weeks, it was cold, I was tired, it was a lot of work. And so then I was that girl that by the end of January was nowhere to be found. I didn't understand why it didn't work. And then I was paying a whole year membership that I never used. All right. And that was the story of my life. Everything I've ever done, I've signed up for classes and I never went. And so Beachbody, when it came into my life, was sort of just like, I was so ready, something in my mind, just the stars aligned. And I really think it is the way my brain works. I can print out that calendar and then I can check off the boxes. So I printed out the Insanity calendar and I X off every single day on that box. And I liked that if I followed a plan, that I was almost guaranteed to get results. And then I could see that other people were getting results. And then I had this group to plug into, and my coach did her part to keep me engaged, to check in with me, to answer all of my questions. And when I struggled at the end of the first 30 days and I hadn't really lost a whole lot of weight, she introduced me to clean eating and she started teaching me how to make better food choices. And so she really did an awesome job at making sure that I felt the support. And then she saw that I was loving it and invited me to join the business. Not once, not twice, but like 5 times she had to invite me to join. She sent me videos. She met me for coffee at Starbucks. And she just kept pushing because she saw something there and I really resisted. And so whenever I finally did pull the trigger and decide to become a coach, I had nothing. Absolutely nothing. I have my master's degree in special education. My undergraduate degree is psychology. I don't have a marketing or a business background. I had left my full-time job to stay home with my boys, and I was just a hot mess. I was a hot mess of postpartum flub, and here I was trying to help motivate other people. And I really saw an opportunity to help women like me that just struggled with confidence, that just struggled with not feeling good in their own skin, but almost feeling like I didn't have another option. So here comes Beachbody, right? And so I decided that, social media was the way I was going to go, because I also am the type of person that the old Melanie would pull into the garage and hit the button and let the garage door come down. And then I would get out of the car so that I didn't have to talk to the neighbors. I was that girl. I would walk to the mailbox with my head down, and I still can kind of be like that. Like, I'm very much I keep to myself. I really love my family, my parents. Like, I don't know. I don't need to have a lot of friends. Like, that's my personality. I am a quiet person, which probably blows your mind because on social media, I've been able to I love to write. I like to express myself through pictures, things I didn't know about myself, right? I really will work hard to get a response. So anyways, I liked that I could kind of hide behind the computer screen. I could kind of do things on my own terms, all right? So here I am, sort of your classic introverted personality, trying to push myself outside of my comfort zone. And so when I signed up to be a coach, I really sat down and I said to myself, okay, what is it that is going to make me unique and different? How am I going to make this business work? And I thought to myself, I'm going to run my business through my Facebook page. And I made my Facebook public. I started an Instagram account, and I went to WordPress and I started a blog, because I thought to myself, I can blog about my journey, and I really want to teach other women and empower other women to be able to do what I do. All right. So I'm going to screen share with you, because I did make you guys I need my slides. All right. So can you guys see that? Is it big and bold? All right. So the first thing that I did, and that I still like it, and I would say my niche is just constantly changing and evolving as the seasons of my life change. So if I think about me as a brand new coach, I was a mom with 2 kids under the age of 2. Background noise. I think we're good now. We good? Okay. So I was mom, 2 boys, 2 kids under the age of 2, stay at home, just your typical kind of like mess, disaster, right? Or trying to go through the transformation, my Beachbody transformation. And if I think about what my interests are, and this is what I want you guys to do, is to know your interests and what you're passionate about. So I still to this day am very passionate about clean eating, because that was the first thing that came to my mind when I said, okay, what are my interests? What am I passionate about? Clean eating. What comes to your mind first? Shopping. Love to shop. I wasn't able to shop whenever we first, had kids and I started Beachbody because we had no money, but I love to shop. Like if I have a bad day, take me to the mall, let me buy a new outfit and get a cup of coffee, and I'm happy as a clam, right? I love coffee. That's the third thing I put there. I'm a boy mom. That's another, I call that my interest. That's part of my niche. That's who I am. I have 2 boys. I am that 5 a.m. fitness girl. I love to motivate people to get out of bed in the morning. I get no greater joy in crafting a post that makes somebody say, thank you, I needed that. I woke up and I pressed play because of your post. All right, and I'll go into that a little bit more. Cleaned up recipes. So again, at the beginning when I first started, I always had people that were like, what is clean eating? And I can't eat like that. And I like to have my wine. And so I sort of made it my mission to teach people that you could eat healthy and still enjoy life. And so I would take, and I still do this, I take regular recipes, I like to clean them up, and then I would blog about them or post about them on social media. So that's an interest of mine. I like to nap. I do actually talk about warm fuzzy blankets and snuggling up on the couch and snuggling with my kids. Like I probably say snuggling 20 times a week in my Facebook post. That's just, I am that warm and fuzzy, cozy. That's my personality. I really love personal development. That to me, like reading and fueling my cup and being a positive person. I can't stand negative people. And I think that Beachbody has really brought that out, and people in my family that I've almost distanced myself with because I'm like, I can't stand negativity. There's no room for that. And then business tips sort of evolve. So if you think about you, what sort of classifies you? It shouldn't be the same as me. We may have some things that overlap, but I begin to look at, my team and say, okay, what is your passion? What are you interested in? Is it philanthropy? Is it your faith? Is it, do you have a full-time job that you really love, but fitness and Beachbody is sort of just a really great complement in your life. It sort of complements everything else that you do. I have a lot of people that are vegan or paleo, or they have different food, or they have, a gluten allergy. And so, or they're pregnant. That's another thing. That's also an interest or a niche or a part of that. And people begin to sort of pigeonhole them into what they think they should be, and they sort of shoot themselves in the foot. And I can use being pregnant as an example. I can't tell you how many people I've seen stop working their business because they got pregnant. I'm like, God, that's like the best opportunity to have a whole new transformation, to have a whole new, market of people that are following you. You can really crush it in your business. So don't say to yourself, because I have an allergy or because I'm pregnant or because I just had a baby, that I can't grow my business. Because look at how many even just coaches in our network right now are rocking their business because they're pregnant, right? All right, so that's what I want you guys to do, is just sit down and start to kind of make a list of that stuff, because that will really help you guys out. All right. I love you guys. You guys are funny. I'm reading your comments as we're going here. All right. Okay. So then the next thing is you guys have got to post about it, right? You've got to post about the things that you are passionate about. And then the next thing is don't leave your box, and your box is your niche. So if I say clean eating and shopping and coffee mugs and my kids and my 5 a.m. fitness, like I'm not going to talk about a bikini boot camp and getting ready for spring break, right? I'm obviously not, that would not be my niche. And I've made the mistake of doing things like that because another coach did it and they did it really well and they were getting a lot of traction, but it was not even touching my market. Like it wasn't me and who I was. So you always want to say, okay, is my stuff coming across as authentic to who I am? And that takes time, but you will get there. So you always want to ask yourself, am I posting within that niche? And then two, this really requires you to keep your blinders on when you're beginning to develop your personality, and because it's very easy to start to assume the role of other people you admire in the business. You see a lot of people that copy other people because they don't know what their identity truly is. And I can't tell you how often I see people actually physically take like wording and copy and paste, and that's not going to get you anywhere, right? So the things that you guys can do is take inspiration. And this is what I have done, right? So when I knew, okay, clean eating is one of my passions, or the 5 a.m. fitness, I will go to Pinterest and I will type in, fitness motivation quotes. And then I look at the visuals of what catches my eye, the way that people pose, the wording that people use, the motivational quotes that I see on there. And I take that and I almost make an inspiration board, or I'll save the images. This is what I do at 11 o'clock at night before I close my eyes, as I scroll Pinterest for ideas, and I save things to my camera roll. And this is my inspiration that fits within my box that I'm going to recreate the next morning when I get up to do my 5 a.m. fitness. All right. So that is that's how I've been able to use sort of what I see out there to keep it in line with who I am. Everything revolves around your niche. So whether you're using Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat, you always want to say to yourself, is this post, is it revolving around who I am, or am I just posting to post? And we will actually talk a little bit more about that. But if you are somebody that doesn't use cuss words and you start swearing on your Facebook page because your upline did a post like that and it got a lot of traction, it's going to be very inauthentic and it's not going to sound like you. So try to, always ask yourself, is this me? Would I say this to my best friend? Is this my personality? All right. And if it ever makes you feel uncomfortable, like in a bad way, you should not post it. Always go with your gut. All right. So there are a lot of good ideas out there, but not a lot that are going to work for you. Not all of them are going to work for you. And that's the key to remember. So let me back up and tell you this. When I started Beachbody, if I were to take you to my time hop and show you, how you can do that on this day, I was your classic brand new Beachbody coach. I posted the link to my Team Beachbody shop. I posted pictures of Shakeology, like the stock photos that you should never do. I mean, I had grainy photos and dark photos and just horrible stuff, but I had to do all of that. And that was my process of improvement. And we all start somewhere. But I will tell you, you have to go through that to get better. And if you are holding back because you are afraid, that is your biggest mistake right there. So you have to go out there and fearlessly put yourself out there. And so for me, once I identified who I was, what I wanted to talk about, and right from the get-go, and even before I had figured it out, I was posting 3 to 5 times a day. And some people were like, that's a lot. I work full-time. Well, you know what? I worked full-time too. I was a full-time mom, and that is a really hard job to do when you have 2 very young children and you have no help and no support from your spouse. But I wanted my business to succeed so bad that I was willing to do whatever it took. And I made it happen. And if I had to hide in the bathroom on the toilet and make a Facebook post, I did. I made it happen. But I knew, because my coach told me, she's like, Melanie, you need to post 3 to 5 times a day. And that's just what I did. And I remember having a list of post ideas, and I still do that. And I'm actually going to walk you through how I do that now. But your business, your Facebook, your Instagram is your storefront. This is how I built trust. And I realized very quickly, very early on, I think somebody probably said, hey, Melanie, you shouldn't post the link to your Team Beachbody account. And I remember thinking, and I still say this, is I don't want to be a salesperson. I want to be somebody that adds value. And so that was how I approached Beachbody. Every day I would wake up and I would say, I want to inspire somebody to take action today. I want to add value. I want people to come back to my Facebook page because they're not just getting another workout picture of me. They're getting either some personal development, or they're getting a recipe, or they're getting a tip, or they're getting a laugh at how crazy my life is with 2 little children, right? So that's what I always think. So 24/7, whatever it takes, this is how you build the trust. And you have to start with 0 likes. You start with 0 followers. You start with no interaction, and you have to build. And that compound effect, the Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, is the book that I just hang onto every word, because that is it. It is what you do in the dark when no one else is watching. It is those years that I built my business at my kitchen table with my dinosaur computer, that nobody knew who Melanie Mitro was. And that is how I got to where I am today, right? And so that is very important for you guys to do the same thing. All right, have that mindset. So let's move on. So here is the second thing. It's quality over quantity for you guys. All right. It's always quality over quantity. So, you can post 8 times a day, But if it's just shared posts from somebody else, or you're sharing your uplines or other Beachbody coaches videos, and you're not creating original content that has a purpose, then it really doesn't mean anything. You are just creating white noise, and people begin to just scroll past you and not actually stop and read because there's no quality there. So I always say to myself, am I giving people something when they read this post? Also, make sure your post is well edited. And I almost say this with sort of, I kind of cringe because I am not grammatically correct in everything I do, but I try very hard to do that. I try to always have well-written content that is not a run-on. I try to not write a book. I try to use emojis and separate my paragraphs so that it's easy on the eyes. I think about what I would want to read and the things that would catch my attention, and that is how I create a post. So give yourself, even go to your Facebook post or page tonight, or your Instagram, and do a visual test on yourself and say, if I was somebody coming in from the outside, would I follow myself? Would I find myself engaging? Would I, within the first 5 posts, know that I am somebody that has something to offer? Would I be somebody that people would find value in? Or is your social media all jammed up with just randomness? Does it have a purpose? So I kind of pulled this picture from this morning, that this was my post this morning that I did, just to give you sort of an example of how I break up my paragraphs. And this is my 5 a.m. motivation. And when I drink my Energize at 5 a.m., I sit down on my yoga mat and I wait for my Energize to kick in. And that's when I actually take my picture before I do my workout. I make my workout post, and I do this all before I press play. And so I talk about what is going through my mind. And there's a lot that goes through my mind at 5 a.m. It is usually, man, it's cold. I don't want to do this. I went to bed too late last night, or the kids kept me up, or somebody was puking or something, right? And this morning I happened to sit down and I happened to be reading something yesterday from Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about how we all have the same 24 hours in the day and what makes some people more productive than others, and it's what they spend their 24 hours doing. And it got me to thinking about procrastination and how so many people procrastinate and waste time, and how people are always saying to me, I don't know how you do it, Melanie. I don't know how you do it. It's like, I have the same 24 hours that you do. It's just that I check my excuses at the door. I have a plan of action. I prioritize the most important things that I need to do based on my, and I spelled that wrong, top priorities and goals in life. My day starts at 5 a.m. with my sweat session, my personal development, and my shower. I visualize the goal. I feel positive energy come into my body. I always work to push out the negative. I feel with good food and a smile because I'm worth it, right? And have a great day. And so this to me was like showing people how my mind works and just motivating people to go, just do it. You have a choice. You can sleep through your dreams, or you can wake up and you can chase them. And I'm like, I was trying to get people to realize, like, you have the power to just do it. Just check the excuses and go. And then I actually walked them through what my mindset was. I could have posted a picture of me working out, core to force, day 24, check. And that's all I could have done. But that wasn't my goal. My 5 a.m. is motivation. I want somebody to comment. My goal is to write a post so that somebody comments below, thank you. You inspired me to work out. And so every day for the past 5.5 years, that's what gets me out of bed, is because after doing it for 2 months with nobody commenting, right? I'm like, I know people are watching me. I know that this is going to work. I just had faith that it was going to work. And then all of a sudden, the comments started to happen. And then that became my motivation to get up, because I knew that somebody needed me. All right. I knew that. And I share this on my Instagram and I share it to my Facebook, and I do both. I've always done both from the get-go. I basically share pretty much the same thing, and I try to make my stuff visually appealing. All right. Okay. Do I do a workout post every morning? If I work out, Katie, yes, I do. But if I don't work out, I talk about what I did. So I always get up early. So I maybe am doing personal development that day, or I am doing yoga because I'm stretching, or I've got a massive migraine and so I'm doing something totally different. Or if I sleep in, I post about sleeping in, and that I took an unscheduled rest day because I didn't feel good, or I talk about whatever it is I'm doing, I share it in real time. Because I made the mistake of trying to be perfect at the beginning, and I didn't talk about the wine that I drank and the cake that I had. And then people started to say, you're too hardcore, I can't relate to you. And it was because I was trying to make it look really pretty and really perfect. And so then it backfired, and I'm like, oh wait, that's not how this goes, right? So I learned from that mistake. I learned that I needed to just let it go more. I needed to be even more authentic. And so then that really added the relatability factor, but I was still consistently doing what I was doing. All right. So I post on my like page, personal, or both. I actually do both, Ashley. So I post more quotes, more live videos. I do more on my business page, on my like page, than I do on my personal page. My personal page definitely is more of my family, like the albums of our trips or whatever fun things we're doing in the neighborhood or with our family. My Instagram is like the best picture of making gingerbread houses, right? It's not the whole album on Instagram. So Instagram is the best of those family photos. And Facebook is all of that. And then I take the best one and put it on my like page too. All right. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And I didn't always do it that way. That's been my strategy for a while now, because I am trying to kind of build it all at the same time. So I don't try to make more work for myself. You can auto schedule on your like page. So if I find extra quotes or extra content, or I have extra time, I will go over and schedule some stuff over there too. All right. Which posts do you schedule versus, and Emily, most of my stuff happens live. I mean, 99.9 of my posts happen live. You see them as I create them. So I am very much a, if I feel it, I do it kind of a thing. So there are times where I kind of go off the radar for a while. And so it's because I'm unplugged and I'm doing whatever. So yeah. And I do my own stuff too. I write all of my own content. That's why it has typos, because I'm usually like in between doing something and running. So, all right. So anyways, quality over quantity is very important to have a purpose of what I am doing. Also, this is another example too. So I am very, very, very self-conscious of my body. And I'm very conscious of, I've had 2 kids, and I'm very conscious of my stomach. And I was sitting there the other day with one of my really, really, really good friends. And she's like, we were flipping through my posts or my photos on my camera roll, and she stopped at this picture I'd taken, a selfie of my stomach. And she goes, you need to post about this. She goes, you need to talk about this more. She goes, stop trying to hide your stomach. She goes, you had 2 kids and you look fantastic and your quarter force results are incredible. She goes, why are you not talking about this? And I'm like, well, like, I don't like the way I look here. And so I started to analyze myself, and she goes, you need to talk about that. And so that goes back to that quality and quantity in social media. So social media is about getting uncomfortable. And so the more I share the things that get to me, get to my gut the most, and make me feel the most vulnerable, are always the things that move my business forward the most. It's like inviting, right? I don't like inviting, but when I do it, I affirm to myself that this is what I needed to do. This is the right thing to do. So I crafted this post actually over the weekend, and I had a plan. I was trying to lay the foundation for my health bet, right? I had launched my health bet the day before, and now I was trying to pull people in. I wanted them to see that I actually got results from quarter force, and I got results during the holidays. And so I was trying to share that, but I talked about being a mom, and I talked about how the past 5 years I told a story. You know, your social media is telling your story. You are almost like a reality TV show, as crazy as it sounds. You are a reality TV show. So I have been taking people for the past 5 years on this journey, and I wanted them to see that progress, how I've been tweaking my nutrition and figuring out what my body responds to, and how quarter force is really working for me. And I talked about abs, because every woman worries about their abs. And this quarter force is all about your core, you know. And so I talk about that, and I talk about the 80% on point with my nutrition. I talk about food, and I talk about just encouraging people to get their sweat on today. All right. That was a vulnerable post for me, but I had the day before talked about the health bet, and wouldn't you know, I had about 4 people send me a private message saying, okay, now I need to do this. Tell me about this health bet and tell me about your next challenge group. So I encourage you guys to get uncomfortable and to post your journey. I've been telling my coaches every single week, you should be taking people on the journey that you are going on. Your business is a Beachbody business, right? You are supposed to be practicing what you preach. And I actually just told my team this last week or a couple weeks ago. I said, look, I go, you're a Beachbody coach. And if you've been working out for an entire year and you have nothing to show for it, I go, you have no credibility. I go, if you haven't started and finished a program and talked about your experience, your results. I said, no, you don't have to have a 6-pack. I said, but you need to be saying, okay, this is week 1. This is where I started. At the end of week 1, this is how I feel. These are what I think about the workouts. Here's the meal plan that I followed. Here's where I screwed up with my nutrition. This is my goal for week 2. Here's what my meal plan is going to look like. These are the obstacles I anticipate I'm going to have over the next week, whether it's a live video or you're going to make a blog post about it or you're going to post on Facebook. But I tell my coaches, I'm like, share that transformation. I go, do before week 1. Then at the end of week 2, do your before picture, week 1, week 2, take your pictures, your measurements. I go all in with every fitness program that you do. And I have done that from the day that I pushed play on Insanity. I have taken people through Insanity, P90X, Turbo Fire, P90X2, P90X3. I mean, every single fitness program I have done. I've shared the meal plan. I've shared my ups, my downs, my struggles, the entire way through the process. I said, that is what creates credibility, is taking people on that journey. And if you aren't being accountable to that and sharing all of that stuff, I said, you don't really have a leg to stand on. It's really hard to get people to commit if they're not seeing you actually improving and going through that process too. So that is so, so, so important. All right. Okay. So this is another thing about adding value. Another thing I said at the very beginning for me is I like to teach people how to make cleaned up recipes. So over the weekend, I hosted a Christmas party with a bunch of our friends, and this is the actual post. Now, a really bad, not a bad, but a not as optimal post would be for me to just say, Christmas party, peppermint bark martini, cheers, right? The picture's great, but what is that going to do for me? Nothing. It's not going to give me any value. I always say to myself, I want somebody to share this. I want somebody to comment below. I want somebody to say that they made it and they liked it. I want engagement. Social media is social. You want people to engage. So I gave people the recipe because I want people to make it. I want people to try it. I want people to talk about it, because what does that do? It makes them, next time they see a notification that Melanie Mitro posted something, it makes them want to go see what I am sharing, because they know that I'm going to give them value or I'm going to share something. So this is in line with the whole clean eating and recipes and cleaning things up. This is what I use, and it is really yummy. So everybody should make this, and it's really, really good. That is one of our favorites. So anyway, so I went out of my way to make a sample one, take a picture, put it up there before our party kicked off. And this is something that went on my Instagram. It went on my Facebook. It's on my blog as a blog post. So I can now share that over and over and over again. All right. So adding value. This is one way that I add value. You guys, especially with the 21-day fix and the containers, that was something when 21-day fix came out. When I started, I was like teaching people how to use these containers on social media. I was making videos and I was, sharing images because I wanted to show people that it worked, that it was doable, and so I had to give people sort of that sneak peek into it. If you think about think about Tony Robbins, how many of his courses or speeches has he done that you can go and actually listen to on YouTube? Almost everything. He adds incredible value out there on social media. Why would you pay to go to one of his seminars? Because there is that thinking of, oh my gosh, he has so much more to offer. And that's what you want to do on your Facebook and your Instagram and your YouTube, is you want to add so much value that people trust you. They know that if they invest $140 in a challenge pack, they're getting something incredible because they're already getting something incredible from your social media. Does that make sense? Makes sense? Okay, good. All right, so let's kind of move into the calendar part of it. So this is something that I do every single month. December obviously is kind of wonky and a little bit different just because it's not a typical month. You throw a holiday in there and then everything gets messed up. But what I do is at the end of every single month, I create my social media calendar. I know what groups I'm going to run. I know what training groups I'm going to run. And I even sort of have these little arrows where I walk you through how, like, when I'm going to start posting about something. All right. So I know I have a plan and a strategy in place. And I teach this to my team. Everybody, brand new coaches, all the way to all my leaders. We have planning calls every month about our schedule. So Nan, this is a Google Calendar that I did a screenshot, and then I took it over into PicMonkey, right? Because it makes it an image, and then I put text on there, and that's how I made it. So that's what I did. And I do this every month, and then I share it in my team page, and I make them a live video, and I narrate it, and then we all get on board together. So I knew up here, this is quarter force month 2. So December, I have been preaching quarter force. So once we finished round 1, I ran 2 challenge groups. I ran one with my customers, and then I ran one for my entire downline. So and I ran it so that I was teaching coaches how to get results so that they could build their business. And then I had my customer group. And so at the end, like towards the end of the first 30 days of quarter force, I started talking to them about what's next, about how, really in the first 30 days, you're just scratching the surface of your results, and that, we need to keep each other accountable during the holidays. So you're going to do the deluxe calendar? Are you going to do the hybrid calendar, the Beachbody on demand, or are you going to go back and repeat the first 30 days? And so I just said, what are you committing to? So that I wrote that up there on right here so that everybody knew quarter force month 2. That's what I was doing. And then I was kind of calling them out and saying, what are you guys doing? All right. I also knew that typically, this is how my month typically goes. The first 2 weeks of the month are usually challenge group focused. The last 2 weeks of the month are usually business post focused. So that's how I organize myself, right? Is it a pearl that just kind of does whatever? I don't know the colors. A yellow sort of is like the life of the party and wants to do whatever, right? Everything has to start on a Monday for me. Everything has to have a plan. Everything has to have a place. I work very much like in that organized brain, right? Sapphire. Okay. All right. So anyways, I decided that in December, people are not going to want to start a challenge group unless it started right after Thanksgiving. That was sort of my thought. But I thought to myself, I can get people in the door by doing some Shakeology stuff in a free group. So that's what I chose to do. So I started my new coach training on the 5th. All of my new coach, all of my push groups, anything that I do starts the first Monday of every month. And my team knows that. They just know that's when it starts. But I was going to start a 12 days of Shakeology. It actually started yesterday. So the 12th. And so on December 1st, I wrote down that I needed to advertise this 12 days of Shakeology. And so I put that on my calendar because it allows me to say, okay, Melanie, before December 1st, you need to make the images. You need to create the event. You need to send out the email. You need to post the invite, right? And so I knew that on Sunday morning, the 27th, I had to set aside an hour or so to get all of that content together. So now I'm setting the goal for the launch of when I'm going to launch my next group. And then I give myself time to plan out when I'm going to make the images instead of just waking up today and saying, I got to start this group next week. I got to make these. I actually have a plan for it. So my social media has a plan. So I obviously am talking about, 12 days of Shakeology. This is what I did my first 2 years as a coach. And it was great because at the beginning, I struggled to get people to see value in Shakeology. And I found that, and I had this idea to buy a box of Shakeology actually under my husband so I could keep him active. And I changed, his order to a box. And then I took 12 packets of Shakeology and I created little labels on PicMonkey. And I put a different Shakeology recipe. And on PicMonkey, you can do the little candy cane banner. Actually, I just threw it away. I thought I had one. But so I made, and then I put double-sided tape and I stuck it to every packet took the empty box, I put tissue paper in, I stuck all the little packets in there, and then I created a little letter that talked about how to make Shakeology, and then I created a closed Facebook group that was called 12 Days of Shakeology Shake Off. And my goal was to get people that had never tried Shakeology before. All they did was buy the packets from me. I delivered them the box, and I walked them through 12 different recipes, and I gave them a sample meal plan that I made up that kind of followed like meal plan B of the fix. And I'm just in there interacting, and they're getting points. So every day that they share a picture of their Shakeology and they talk about how they made it, they get a point. And if they work out at least 3 days a week, and I gave them the option to just get the free 30 days of Beachbody On Demand, they would get another point. And at the end of the 12 days, whoever has the most points, whoever participates, I'm going to give away some prizes. This is a great way. People aren't ready to commit to Shakeology yet. People are sort of pinching pennies, but for whatever reason, they'll spend $60 on this, 12 packets of Shakeology or whatever, and they'll do it. It's kind of a teaser. And my goal with doing that is to get people into my health bet group, I want to build the relationship. So everybody that's in that group, it's like running a free group. My goal is to bridge them right into a challenge group, and it ends right before Christmas. So I sort of have like an early bird special. So I've thought about my game plan. So my Facebook posts I've been really interjecting Shakeology in there lately. I actually posted about Shakeology, how to make it last week. I talked about that mint to Shakeology recipe. I've been talking about how it's fueled me for my day as a busy mom. So I've been, my Facebook posts are aligning up to really talk about that. All right. So I posted about it. I advertised. You can see where it says line. That's me advertising. Then you can see, all right, I need to advertise for my New Year, New You group. That's going to be my health bet. And what did you know? I set aside time on Thursday. I actually launched it on Friday the 9th. So I did start advertising for my health bet already because people are interested, especially people that participated in the last one. As soon as word got out that there was a health bet, people started asking about it. So anyways, I wrote, put on my calendar, I want to advertise for that. So I set aside time for it. And you can see, even though I'm doing this 12 days of Shakeology, I'm talking about the health bet. I created the image, and actually I'm going to go into that a little bit more. So I won't talk about it now, but you can see 12 days, I'm talking about New Year, New You, New Year, New You. And I didn't do a very good job, but about this time, and it's going to be tricky with Christmas, I'm going to start talking about coaching. So this weekend, I'm actually going to set aside some time to create an image about my business opportunity event that's going to happen on the 28th. And I will make an event, a Facebook event, because that's how I've been running my sneak peeks lately, is just a public Facebook event. And then I've been having 4 or 5 of my coaches all take a different topic and go live in an event. And it's just public. And that has just been awesome because everybody's been taking ownership of the different points of explaining the business, and they're all inviting to it. It's just creating this really great energy. So I will do that on the 28th. And I already know what my strategy is. So if you think about it, we want to get coaches signed up that maybe have been watching us or following us, that have been inspired by what we've been doing over the holidays. And for me, it's all about being your best self in 2017, right? So, and I'm going to kind of paint the picture of, have you just gone through the motions in 2016? Has this year really drug you down? Do you feel like you're in a job that sort of is a dead end, that doesn't fill you with a purpose or a passion? Have you been watching me? Are you ready to take that leap of faith and, maybe sign up as a coach and go on this journey with me and let me teach you what to do? And it's all about, that's my marketing strategy, is that purpose and that passion. And I'm going to actually roll right into my January trainings. I have that same theme. So I'll walk you through kind of what I do next. So that's going to happen on the 28th. And then in January 9th is when all my new trainings will start. So doing this exercise and organizing this keeps me organized, but now I have to talk about it. I have to explain it to you. So I really got to know my strategy. So this makes me a good leader because now I can work out the bugs. So as I'm talking to my team, I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. How that could affect it. And so it's helping me to make sure that my implementation is on And you know what I find? If I don't do it, my team doesn't do it. So I've been pushing this 12 days of Shakeology. And people were like, nah, whatever. I don't know if I want to do that. But the minute they saw me post about it and start advertising it, all of a sudden I saw like 5 of my coaches pop up and start doing that stuff. So when you lead from the front and you don't just give ideas, but you do the ideas alongside of them, your organization will follow you. And they are following everything that I do. So you guys raise that bar, even if, like, honestly, do you think I need to do a 12 days of Shakeology? Do you think I want to stand in my kitchen and cut out these stinking little tabs? No. And I don't. But I'm like, this is going to make me a better leader. This is going to make my team more successful. And so here I am, sending that off to the post office with all these little boxes. But you know what? It's reminding me of the process of what it's like to get started. And it's been a good experience. So I do a lot of things that I don't necessarily want to do, but I know it's what I need to do. All right. Okay. So I talk to myself all the time. All right. So the health bet, I'm going to kind of walk you through what I did. So with the health bet, I start with like the idea creation. So I knew on my calendar, I wanted to launch this new year, new you. That's what I'm calling it, Beachbody Health Bet, on the 10th. So that's when it needs to go out. So I've got the idea creation. So what I do is I create the image that goes along with it. That's the first thing that I do. So if I know that I'm going to create a Facebook event for this, because that's always what I do. So I'm going to make the image fit in an event. Does that make sense? Like I will go and get the dimensions of what I need to do. I'll go to PicMonkey. I'll make the image so that it fits in those dimensions. I'll do that first. And then what I'll do is I will write out the event and I will write out the description of the health bet and what I'm looking for. So I sit down and I start to type. And I think it's really important that when you're launching an idea or a challenge group that you give context. I see a lot of people that whenever hold on, let me go over here. Don't mind that I was shopping because I was shopping before I got on here. I thought I had this already. But I will tell you, I found this really cool cup wine glass for my coach, and she's all about cats. And it says it's totally acceptable to drink wine alone if your cats are with you. Yes, and I bought that for her. I'm like, you need that. Anyways, so that's what I was doing. Nordstrom's has these really cute little mugs if you need fun gifts for your coaches. All right, so anyways, events. This is my event. So I went over here and I created this health bet event. And so here is the description. So when you go in here, I think it's really important for you guys to give some context. So don't just say Beachbody's running a health bet. You can win money. Join my challenge group. Like actually give some context. I want to share my excitement. I am excited that the Beachbody Health Bet is back. And I gave the dates, January 2nd through February 9th, because I didn't want people to automatically say, it's the holidays, I don't have time for this. I tried to catch them with the date right away for that reason. And then I talked about when I did the Health Bet Challenge group in the fall, we had the most participation, the most success stories, and the most customers and coaches complete programs and go on to transform their lives than ever before. I wanted people to know that it was a success in the past, that lots of people achieve their goals, that it was an awesome experience, and that we are making a lasting change and not a crash diet, because that sort of is my thing. I'm all about no crash diet, right? I'm teaching you lifestyle. We're making it happen again. And then I said, I've been asked to host a Beachbody Health Bet private group, because right, haven't we all been asked to do that? So it kind of sounds exclusive when you word it that way. That's why I chose that wording. Challenge accepted. I love my job. Of course, I want to help you set yourself up for success in the new year and beyond, right? And talk about making 2017 our best year ever, which I already said that was my focus, even with my business and with my challengers. So I'm kind of rolling my thought process all into one. And then I talk about, have you been watching me for a while and you know you need to change, but you don't know where to start? I said that because how many people out there don't know what to do? Like they know they want to change, but they don't even know what program they should do, or they don't know how to meal plan, or they don't even know how to make dinner for themselves, right? So that's why I said that. I'm going to help you get set up, decide what program that meets your needs and your ability level, and match you up with a nutrition plan that fits your lifestyle. And then I talk about in return for your participation about the cash pot. And so I talk about that means, now I explain it, what it means that if you log your workouts, your Shakeology into the Challenge Tracker app, then you're entered to win. Pretty sweet. And then so I go on to talk about how they can apply. Here's the application. This is easy, guys. Everybody should make an application. Go to woofu.com. There's a free form builder. And why do I make an application? It gives it exclusivity. It makes it more professional, and I can gather a whole lot of information from people, and it sort of it helps me to build that relationship faster. I know number one, if they have a coach, I don't have to go through forming them to find out that they're already working with somebody and they're not going to be eligible for my group, right? So I want to get that out of the way right at the beginning. Also, I know what they struggle with. I know if they've ever done a program before, and I can jump in and have a good conversation with them. Always put a disclaimer that this is for new and existing customers and coaches of mine. So I try to filter anybody that's somebody else's customer or coach right here. Spaces fill up quickly, so don't wait. No, I don't have a cap on my spaces, but this is really important that I do that so that people feel that need to sort of hurry up and get the ball rolling. All right. So discussion. Then you want to post it. So that's the next thing, right? Idea creation, event creation. I posted the event. Once I posted the event, the next thing that I did was I shared it to my Facebook page, and I shared it to my to Instagram. All right, I shared it to Instagram, I shared it to my Facebook page, and then I started inviting people. So now I go up here to share, and I just invite friends. And here's the awesome part about this. We've all run challenge groups before. Maybe you even run a free group. So I go down to all of the groups that I've ever ran, and I literally just go to, okay, my holiday survival guide. These are all people that are currently in my group. Select all. Send them an invite, right? I go down to, oh, this was my 7-day free group. You can say I've already invited everybody. This was the last free group that I ran. Invited everybody, all right? So I just go through and I invite people to it. Then what I do is I watch for people to say they're interested or going, and then from there, those are the conversations I start having. Because sometimes people don't actually fill out the application. They just click interested or going and they never do anything. So now this is kind of where I go through, and now my conversations are starting to happen. All right, so that's part one. The next thing that I do, I don't know what I just hit. All right, let me get out of here. Okay, the next thing I do is I go to the discussion part. Now, over here, if you look here on my next thing, it says 7 to 10 daily posts. Not daily posts, I should say like 7 to 10 posts that I create, all right? I make a list of posts. So everything related to the health bet. So I kind of sit down, and I did this with my coaches today. I'm like, all right, I need to have supporting evidence. So last night, I did on here, what's the Beachbody Health Bet and how do I get started? I made them a little short video of what it is. That went in my event page, because now everybody I invited, this video now shows up in their timeline. So their news feed. So now they see it. Even if they don't respond, they now see it. It's kind of piquing their interest. They may watch it, not sure yet. Then this morning, I did Transformation Tuesday. I shared a coach in my organization, her transformation, and I talked about, doesn't matter, I kind of gave some context, and then I talked about, did you reserve your spot in my health bet yet? Here is the link to it. I use this same post on my personal Facebook page and on my Instagram account. So I'm not creating more work for myself, but I'm posting it in this event because every time I do, now I'm starting to get more likes, right? I've got 13. The first time I did it, I only got 5. So it's going to keep getting better. And you know what? The number keeps going up. The number of people that are interested is going up. Every day I can see that. More people are filling out the application. Then tomorrow, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a giveaway. And I'm going to say, all right, guys, I'm going to give away a packet of Shakeology, a shaker cup, and Energize. Like I have the little serving packets. I'm going to say, here's the thing. We got to get more people to our party, right? We're going to kick off 2017 in a big way. What I want you guys to do is you got to bring your friends with you. There's nothing better than accountability with your best friends. So tag 3 friends in the comments below. Just if they would be interested in doing this with you, and I will enter you to win the prize. And so what I'll do is that will get more people. That will get them to share it with their friends. And then I will go live in the group and pull a name, have one of my kids pull it. Again, that'll get people to engage in the event. So every day until the health bet starts, which is a long way away, I will do something. It'll be motivation. Sunday, I'll share my meal plan. I'll give samples of workouts. I will keep this event going, keep driving interest. I'll keep sharing it, and that's how I will get this to keep on moving along. All right. So that's the next thing that I do that really helps me with social media. And you can schedule these out. You can sit down and make a list and get that together. And then I try to share it in 3 places, like I said before. And then last but not least, don't give up after that first silent post. I think that's such a big kicker. Like, look, I had nothing when I first shared. It was one person, and that person is my coach. She's one of my coaches, all right? So don't get discouraged the first time you launch something and nobody comments. It is going to be the comments after that and the stuff that I invest, the way that I share it, that is truly going to make the difference when it comes to. So for me, this is really how I have found such a good way to build my business through social media, and just I'm trying to pull people in. So I look at my Facebook, I look at my posts that I make, and I think to myself, how can I get people to respond? I don't necessarily get discouraged when people say no or ignore me. I just think, okay, I found one way that didn't work. Let's try again. All right. So I hope that kind of helps you as far as like running through your health bet and getting that up and running. But I literally do the same process every single month, coaching and challenge groups. And so it just every month people are always looking for something new that is coming out. So do you use this event page for the entire month? Well, I think I can hear somebody typing. I don't know who it is. Somebody might be unmuted. Do you use this event page for the entire month, or do you transfer everyone over to a group? Yes. So once they buy their challenge pack, once they get signed up, then they go into the private group or the challenge tracker app. All right. How much time does it take to plan this all out? Well, I do it kind of in spurts. So I have the idea. I knew what the health bet was going to be. I got that ready. And then the next day I sat down and I just sort of have a list of post ideas. I call them my jabs that kind of go along with the jab, right hook. Right. And so as I think of, oh, this would make a great post, like I'm going to talk about the whole going to the gym thing in my experience, that'll be one of my jabs. Right. So it's just sort of as I think of the ideas, I just make the list and I keep adding to it. And then I have the list and I can just take pictures as I'm thinking about them too. All right. Event from your like page or profile page. So Chris, that depends. If you don't have a like page and you're not building one, then you're going to want to do this through your personal page. If you have a like page, you can share it on your like page and then you can tag yourself. Like you can co-post it with yourself too. So then it sort of shows up in both places. All right, let's see. Do you leave all of your groups open so Facebook saves your list of people who joined them? Jessica, pretty much for about 6 months, and then I start closing them out. So, but I do keep a lot of them open. When do you suggest creating a like page? I've heard 1,000 friends. Honestly, I'm not a good person to ask. I don't feel like I have expert advice on this because I created my like page way back when I started and I didn't do anything with it. But what I did was I double posted and I did that for a while. And my goal was to try to increase the number of likes on my like page every single month by 1,000. And I had to work really hard at that. So I had to put energy there. I had to focus on getting people to engage in that like page. So I had to research it. I built my business on my personal page. So if you are in the beginning stages of building your business and you're okay with using your personal page, just use it. It's easier to get momentum there. And then make building your like page sort of secondary, but don't, I would highly discourage you from just going all like page. I think that I tried to do that, actually killed my momentum 1 month. It was not a good thing for me at all. All right. When you can invest money in it. So I would say I invested money in my like page a year and a half ago, and it was like $5. It was not much. And I also, you have to be a little smart because you can just burn money by sponsoring ads. You do have to just do your research and try it out. So you don't have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. I do not do that. A lot of what I do is organic. I run most of my Facebook groups through my Facebook page, but because of the health bet, I'll use the tracker app. All right. So the last thing I think I wanted to say to you guys, there was that post. The last thing I wanted to say to you guys is this. It's really important that you guys understand that it is, and I know it's really late, that it is consistency over time. You know, all of this happened because I, number one, Googled everything. If I didn't know how to get engagement on my Facebook page, I Googled it. I watched YouTube videos. I found other people that were really good at social media and marketing and outside of Beachbody. And I would tweak and play with things and find ways to make my pictures better. I would ask questions, and I was relentless because I was not going to fail at this business. And just because I've had a really strong why, and I really believed that I had something to offer other people. And it didn't work at first. I wasn't very good at it at the beginning. But it was like every time I wanted to quit, I got an affirmation. Somebody sent me a private message that I was helping them or I inspired them to press play. And even if they bought it off of Amazon, at least I knew that I had a hand in helping them press play. And I didn't get discouraged by every little roadblock. When the algorithms on Facebook changed, I was like, okay, well, let's figure this out. When Facebook Live became a big deal, I was like, well, crap, I'm going to have to bite the bullet now. I'm going to have to do Facebook Live. I just got to roll with the punches. You know, what we did 5 years ago is not what we're doing today to grow our business. And in this type of a business, in the social media land, we will evolve and change. And what I'm telling you today will maybe be different a year from now. And so the biggest part about coaching in our business is being able to constantly be teachable, to learn, and to take matters into your own hands and not continue to do something that isn't working. So if you're running your social media and it's not producing results, you have to do something small and incremental and just slightly different. And it's like these millimeter tweaks that you make in your business are what course correct you to getting on the right path. And it's with everything that we do, running challenge groups, running, our social media, running our team page. And so that's my biggest piece of advice is, guys, you have to build your own library. You have to go through it. You have to make mistakes, because this is how you figure out your niche, your path, what works, what doesn't work, and that's how you can share it with your team too. All right? So, guys, that's all I got. I really hope that was helpful for you guys, because I feel like I could talk about this topic forever, but it's 10:15 here, and I know you guys are tired. And I haven't checked in with my challenge groups yet, so I got to do that too.
Melanie, that was good.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
I have pages of notes. You guys, if you guys have questions under here, go ahead and ask. But I want to kind of reiterate something that Melanie just said at the end that I posted in a comment under Chris Webb's video earlier today, is the fact that I think it's really sad that we live in a society where people want to make money but don't want to spend the time to learn how. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like we live like where people are very short-sighted, like, okay, well, it's been 90 days or it's been 6 months and it's not producing anything. That's such a microwave mentality that I hate that our society has programmed us kind of. But you heard a lot of what Melanie said. It's initiative, being teachable. You know what I mean? I remember when I first signed up and I didn't even really have Facebook. You know what I mean? It was like 2009. And I bought Chalene Johnson's, social media 101 or boot camp or something for $400 on a credit card because we didn't have any money. And so, but I needed, if I was going to grow this, Chalene Johnson said that's where people's faces were, and she knows what she's talking about. So I needed to learn it, and you have to be hungry for that. If it's going to if you're going to influence people, if you're going to make a business out of this, you're going to create an income, you have to want to learn what it takes to get there. Does that make sense? And there's different levels. If you want to be a six-figure earner, you know what I mean? And you want to do it in a certain amount of time, it's going to take more effort. Do you know what I mean? And Chris was talking about how when someone goes to get a job at McDonald's. Like they even have to do a training. You know what I mean? They have to learn the menu, like how the register works, how to use the milkshake machine. Like, I don't know. When Chad worked at Max and Irma's, 12 years ago before the military, he had to learn the menu. He had to learn all of that kind of stuff. This isn't any different, except for the potential to make money and to do it in your pajamas, like Melanie's doing, and do it while you're, while you're in bed taking it, before you take a nap or whatever. The potential is much bigger, but you have to want to learn. Does that make sense? You have to want to, how you use your 24 hours. The only difference between myself and Melanie and you are a couple things. We've been doing it longer. We've failed more, and we use our 24 hours a little differently than you do. You know what I mean? And so those are all things that are completely under our control. So Melanie, I loved it. I have notes and notes and notes. And you just showed everybody that while I think I'm Emerald, I am not Melanie Mitro Emerald. So I need a calendar. Like, I was like, oh crap, text my assistant, we need a calendar. So Team Courage, I'm on it. So Melanie, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're welcome.
Tonight with us. I really do. You're amazing, and we can't wait to cheer for you at the next summit as number 3.
Well, thank you.
Or number 1, your 3rd time in a year.
I know, crazy. Right? Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So thank you so much, Team Courage. You're amazing. Look for the info to sign up tomorrow, and we will just totally rock out 2016 and then bust into 2017. I love you all. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Bye.